Hi, Howie. This is a view of Reactor Standalone. And on the left side, if you have atoms that have updates, you can see right here, this shows one. You can sort the status by category. It shows installed things. And here at the bottom, these all have updates. And you could, in the main view, hit update. Or in the sidebar, you can click and it'll sort the view here. And in a second, it shows you everything that has an update. So you could just select all and hit update. And it will go through the process of updating them. And as they update, they have a little progress bar down here. They're done, installed, and updated. And now you're up to date. And if you want to see where the content is with Reactor Standalone, they have a neat thing. When something's installed, you can click installed and it shows you just the content that's installed. If you're searching for content that's not installed, this is the stuff that you have yet to see. You can go by category for whatever category, and it gives you the number count of how many elements are there so you can navigate, say, the bin category or something. Dependencies, this is if something is an external library that something you have installed uses. So you can see if you actually don't have the supporting tool that you need for something to work. If atoms ask for a donation, which you can't have turned on, it will list how many of them have people who say you've installed something and they like voluntary donations. Like this guy wanted €1. This guy was hoping to get a suggested donation of 5. Whatever. Incompatible. This tells you if you're on a Mac or Windows if it's not going to work. New. This is in the last however many days. Usually it's about a month. You can customize in the preferences what new is defined as. They also have for installation, if you set it to low, it'll have less verbosity scrolling back. Technically, if you set it to none, it won't even pop up any dialogues or nags. If you want to install Reactor to a different location with Reactor Standalone, you can tell it to use install where the pre-existing one is in Resolve or Fusion, or you can put it in a custom location. Nowadays, I'm generally recommending for normal people just to throw it in your home folder so it's not a hidden path so you can get to it. You could also choose a custom location like a network share, and then it would automatically be available to anyone else. I actually have gamepad and Bluetooth support, so you can actually use like a Sony PlayStation DualSense controller and drive the whole GUI, which is kind of cool. Live search, that's when you're typing up here if it's active immediately. What else? Here for tools, they have a neat thing called Open Atom List, which a neat idea was with this version. I wanted to make it so you could do offline installs. So when you install something, it saves the zipped package for any of these. And if I click on any of these here, for example, and look inside of it, it is the Atom package but zipped. So you can take it on a memory stick and install it on a network server and let your IT guy crawl through it because they have the thing called TPN, Trusted Partner Network, and everything has to be air gapped. So with the zipped install package, there is a neat one called Atoms Expand. If I just copy the name, I'll show you the description here. We'll go back to any state. I made a way to have the drag and drop support. So in the Fusion page or in Fusion Studio, it'll let you drag a zipped atom package into the console window and instantly it'll install it, depending you have Python on the computer. I'll just search for it to show you where it's described. So here's Atom Expand. No, this package requires Python. Do not install it if you lack Python. The Atoms Expand plugin Python script allows you to install zipped Reactor Atom packages by dragging them into the Fusion nodes view from a desktop folder browsing window. The drag and drop file support supports multiples. So if I throw open Fusion, for example, here, and I'll just demo it. This is a fast way you can do a semi-offline install. If you want to do that, again, there's like studio people who don't like internet connectivity. So here I will just pull up in Fusion Studio. It works the same in Resolve Fusion page. And let's say I just drag this module in, instantly it installs it, and it puts the files, if there is, depending on what you're doing. So you can just drag it in and it installs it if it was doing its stuff. The other thing that's neat is we have bookmark lists called an atom list file. This allows you, so everything I've got installed here at the current state, we can instantly save like a bookmark of that. If I clear out the search parameter. So this is just the generic stuff. Bunch of them. I can save that to my desktop or anywhere else, this atom preference file, a list. And if I open this up here, where is it? It is atoms. Atom here, and it saves a text file with the list of all the packages. And you can actually restore this on another computer. So it's just a plain text name of each package that was downloaded. And instantly, if you go to another computer, this list file here, you can actually drag it and drop it, and it can import it here. I can open this list file or save it. When I open it, if I didn't have it here, it would actually process through that whole list and say, do you want to download every single one of these packages? And it would add it to the download queue if anything wasn't there, and it would download them all sequentially. And so you could clone 2 or 3 workstations to be near identical. The neat stuff is Reactor Standalone. It was made because UI Manager, which is the scripting system, was removed from Resolve free. So you can check for updates of Reactor itself, and it'll just pull you to the Reactor Standalone repo, and you can see the latest releases. You can fold it down and download it. We still have Reactor Classic, but it generally doesn't have a long-term future, because if you have 1,000 to 1 Resolve free versus pay users, the student, academic, and everyone else using Resolve free is just a larger user base. So it has like documentation explaining how to set it up, how to use everything, and hotkeys and what you can do. And the layout left panel, the list where atoms are listed, and all that good stuff. Here, the neat thing is, so besides Resolve Fusion content, which is great, because there's a classic question if Blackmagic didn't like when they killed UI Manager and basically smited Reactor for a majority of normal people, they didn't like the Reactor Standalone existing. Who really knows? I was like, hey, why don't we make it that it serves other communities as well, so it has more reasons to exist. So I chatted with the Scratch people, Mazzy at Live Effects, and I made a demo one, which was Scratch Diffusion, so you can go from a simulate Scratch if you're doing live stuff. Houdini, chatted with them. They had some support. And so I ported a lot of Carniverse stuff to work in Houdini, so it can do volumetric video and all sorts of neat, amazing things there. So I made some demos, and I made a little toolbar that had all sorts of tools to help you do video photogrammetry, Gaussian spots, and everything else. Django effects, they're really awesome. They make EmberGen. They said at IBC last year, Peter Van Hoot, or Second Man, he chatted with them, and they said, you can download every single example that our tutorial makers and trainers have made from EmberGen from our Discord and put them in Reactor. So we have video clips for every single one of them. They have pre-simmed fluid caches, video files, VDB caches, and everything else. So every single example is available for people to download, and you could use it with any DCC package or play with it in Ember. So it's EmberGen and LiquidGen is the other one. So it's kind of cool. It gives something for people to play with, and all the files. They also have, like, if I scroll down, I mean, they're all kind of cool. A lot of people do Houdini, but if you're lighter and just want to play, this is pretty real time. It's kind of addictive. And again, anyone who learns how this works is more comfortable coming to the big boy, which is Houdini. And same ideas. It is 100% GPU accelerated, though. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. And so this is how you can embed videos in Reactor Standalone. This is just an MP4 video that is linked in the atom. And it's kind of cool. Step up from what you could use to be able to do in Lua with UI Manager. Couldn't do this. Oh, look at that. Fun. So, and so the neat thing is with Fusion, for example, in Resolve, you can actually bring in VDBs wrapped in into a USD file, so you can actually play with it there, and you could obviously use an autograph for other places too, or a real 3D package. What I was really down to look for, besides all the other ones that are kind of cool, was a cloud preset. I just think how slow this would have been 10 years ago. Cloudpack, yeah. So this is an example. So this one uses linking. They hosted it on Mediafire, the official examples from Django Effects. So when you click install, it will pop up in a web browser. And then that web browser brings you right to the download page. And this is an example. Instead of absorbing 104 megs into the Reactor repo, it just takes you to the endpoint, so you can get to right where it wants to be. And the neat thing is the Reactor package here can have a version number and everything else, but it can link you to where you need to go. Example, Lightwave. They were pretty fun. Originally, Fusion was bundled with Lightwave in the old days back at Ion Software. So he chatted with them. And they're like, sure, you can do a Reactor with Lightwave. I made an MCP server, which is pretty amazing. It allows Lightwave to be completely remote, driven by prompt-based workflows. I had a lot of fun with that. And it's kind of silly. And of course, Blender was already taken. They already did an MCP for Blender. So I'm like, what can I do that's silly? So it'll just take a second to load up. And the other thing was, OpenFX plugins. This is generally where I'm trying to make it that platform agnostic OpenFX plugins would land here. And then, so it just show your package here. When you click install your installer, it would land you at your web page. They download it, and then they can install it, and it would go directly into the core thing. Here's like the gyro flow or OpenFX examples. Pipeline tools. This is the one I'm having fun with, which is a box of all the stuff you normally need to set up to be productive on a general pipeline sense. So OpenColor.io, which is where like Fusion doesn't normally have that, so you have to download that. Development tools, all the standard stuff, Afterburner for your graphics card, Anaconda, Anti-Gravity, Aeon, CMake. Code meter runtime, which is good for like touch designers, CPU-Z, cursor, and again, this just directly lands you on the cursor website. So it's like, yeah, we didn't absorb cursor in, so it'll automatically whatever the current version is, and you can download it. Your standard GitHub, Miniconda, Notepad++. This is my favorite modded version. Has all the stuff you need to be productive. Some Python versions, Res, Visual Studio, landing you where it is. I always find it a pain to find that. Visual Studio Z. Some geometry, your Blender, Cloud Compare, Gaffer, MeshLab, Meshroom, RenderMan non-commercial. And again, just lands you at the RenderMan page. It's a way for someone who doesn't know where everything is to find it quickly. It's kind of like Mac Update or Snap Files or the old 2Cows. Affinity Studio, Autograph, Calvary, DJV, FFmpeg, ImageMagick, OBS, OpenTunes, Tahoma, TV Paint, landing at the TV Paint website. VLC, again, metadata tools like EXF tool, Python modules, network utilities, AnyDesk, FileZilla, landing you directly on the site. OS, it has a standard Belina etcher, so you can get those Linux distros. Linux Mint, 2 versions. RescueZilla for backups. It's pretty handy to put it on a memory stick. Rocky Linux, the current version that generally is pretty compatible with Resolve on Linux. Rufus, so you can actually make a bootable Rocky Linux or a Windows ISO. Ubuntu, standard versions. And then the 2 Windows images, it links directly to the Microsoft download site. So if I click this, it would take you to Microsoft Visual, and then you would get it. Yeah, my internet. And then Vector Art Potrace, it's a streamlined rasterizer. It turns it to an image to SVGs, and then some XOR tools. Again, instant NGP for nerfs. PTQE lands you at the website, and then the spatial metadata injector I made, which lets you encode most of your HVAC. And so that's an example where the pipeline repo, anyone could throw anything there, and it adds, and all the other tools do their thing. It's kind of cool. And so the neat thing with Reactor Standalone is you have a quick way to hop to all the folders, and it can be agnostic to Resolve or to Fusion. And the way it works is when you want to connect it, because of course the Resolve free users can't run a GUI script, you run this thing, it pops it up, and it saves a text file, which allows you to set up the basically the path maps, which are kind of like environment variables. So when you hit create script here, it instantly makes this document, which sets up the settings. So you drag this into Resolve, click create script, saves a new file on your desktop, you launch Resolve Fusion, navigate to the Fusion page, drag the script into the node graph or the console window, and it instantly sets up the path map. So it sets up the Reactor location where it is on disk, where your files are, and it figures out from the current settings. So you can instantly bootstrap the system. What else about Reactor? This is the last compile. Of course, I had a typo when I made it, so we have a little typo there, but I don't feel like breaking anything or updating immediately, but this is it. This term here, this is the nickname for Peter Loveday, who is the lead developer of Fusion, who was present and added the core things to make UI Manager exist for Reactor 1. He sadly died a couple of years ago. This is his quote. What else? Yeah, it instantly can land you at Stake Underwater, bug reports, Reactor Forum, GitLab. This is interesting. So if you go to GitLab, you say, okay, so this is where all the Fusion content is. Where do all the repos live for everything else? Well, we just hop up here, and we hit personal projects, and so we have all the repos. So this is kind of spinning up slowly. So we have a repo just for Reactor content, for Pipeline, for Lightwave. Working on TV Paint thing, I made a Fusion TV Paint integration for classic Silly animators, which is kind of cool, and they gave us support. Yeah, people said they wanted it. I haven't put anything in it, but it exists. You could put something there in the future. Houdini, JangoFX, OpenFX, and similarly. And so each one of these is the same as the Reactor repo. All the items are just a folder that gets thrown in here. And the new Reactor Standalone, it simplifies it. Instead of having to crawl every single atom file, it just packs the atom into a normal JSON document, which includes all the details. So when you say, how does an update happen? You would just bump the version number details in your atom and sync it, or I would do that, and it just is the date and the version number, and that'll instantly flag it as having an update. That's pretty much it.